I am Carson Mack, and I am going into my Discipleship 2 year of seminary. I will say the short answer is that I found a community of people who are on fire for the Lord Jesus, and they were my college community. I went to Tulane University for school, and just encountering them and seeing their life of prayer really inspired me to go deeper. And it was in that the question of what the Lord had intended for me came up. And so to answer that question, I began a life of prayer and the sacraments, and that drew me naturally to the priesthood. It would be St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm not sure who said this, but Father Sean Pine, if you know him, he quoted he quoted this quote from somebody who said that it's better to have a knowledgeable spiritual director than it is to have a holy one. And not that St. Thomas Aquinas isn't holy, but he certainly is one of the most knowledgeable people we have in the church, the church's history. And so I would certainly pick him. He's also my confirmation saint and my personal patron, so I love him. I would say my favorite moment of seminary last year came at the very end of the year. We had just completed our last exams, and we were talking outside with some guys, and all of a sudden someone just comes running in from outside. It was one of our newly ordained deacons came in with a guy who's about to be ordained a deacon, and they were screaming their heads off saying, "He's elected, he's elected!" And Pope Leo had just been elected. And so the entire seminary, after finishing their final exams, just gathered together in our family room, where we watched for an hour until Pope Leo finally came out and was announced. And it was just an electric moment in the room, I would say. So that was the best moment of seminary last year for sure. I'm sure someone who's discerning God's will has already heard probably a lot that they need to live a life of prayer and the sacraments for sure, and that is undoubtedly true. I will say that. But I would say maybe also greatly important is also a life of community, I would say. So finding a group of people who are also on fire for the Lord in the same way you are, and maybe even another group of discerners would be, I would say, a priority for me looking back. If I had found that community earlier, there's no telling where I'd be right now. So I would say find a community of people who love the Lord Jesus and are trying to pursue him with all their might. Cats or dogs, and why? Okay, so I had dogs growing up. We had 3 while I was alive, and 2 I really remember. And I just lived with a cat at my summer assignment just now. And I have to say, though the cat was cute and everything, I could not shake the feeling the cat was always manipulating me. So I'm going to have to say dogs. They're just so loyal. I think they're a lot nobler of an animal. They're more almost regal in a way. They're kind of above ground. They have a sense of honor and loyalty and stuff like that. So I'm going with dogs on this one. Dogs. The Diocese of Baton Rouge can pray that I love with the same way or with the same heart that Jesus loved. St. Paul said that if I don't have love, I have nothing. And I think that's certainly true. In my spiritual life over the last few years, I've learned that for sure. So please pray that I'm able to love people with the heart of Jesus.